Man, oh man, SmackDown Live, man. SmackDown Live is putting on some decent fucking television going into SummerSlam, man. Some decent television going into SummerSlam. Now, I wish we could say the same about Monday Night Raw, but when they have Roman's tongue so far down your fucking throat every week, it's tough to actually care about anything that happens on Monday nights. At least with SmackDown Live, they are giving you a little bit of the pizza pie all over the place. One slice goes here, one slice goes there. Maybe if it's more important, 2 slices go there. It's nice to see everybody getting a spot at the dinner table on Tuesday nights going into SummerSlam. Randy Orton. I want to talk about Randy Orton first and foremost, man. Randy Orton came out to begin SmackDown Live tonight, and we were all wondering what was the reason that he attacked Jeff Hardy, once at Extreme Rules, and then again last week with the brutal attack that made everybody cringe, even my dad. My dad even texted me what happened with Brother Nero, because he's in the loop with Brother Nero and Delete. He calls Matt Hardy. He calls Matt Hardy Delete. But even he watched it, and he was like, did you see Randy Orton put his finger through Jeff Hardy's earlobe? I'm like, yes, Dad, I seen it, and I thought it was great. Why is Randy Orton a bad guy? I don't know, but all I know is that he is much better as a bad guy. That's what I told him. We didn't know why. We could only assume that Randy Orton was back for the United States Championship, that Jeff kind of took the United States Championship away from Randy Orton, and then Randy Orton went to go heal himself up after a few nagging injuries, comes back, and then somehow seeks revenge on Brother Nero. So he finally gave us a reason as to why he attacked Jeff Hardy, and it was as simple could be. He stated it was because of you. It was because of the fans. He ran down everything that is pretty much wrong with the WWE today. Depending on who you talk to, we put people on pedestals. He mentioned indie darlings that we put on pedestals. T-shirts changing every color every single week. Trying to steal money from the hard-earned fans. Says he's disrespected because he feels like that he is none of those things and the fans are looking down upon him. And then he goes on to state this, and I quote, I was a legend killer, and now I am a legend, and I won't ever be killed. He's going to show us that he could be a viper, he could be the legend killer, he could be all these things that you coin and phrase him, but he is going to show you that the most dangerous 3 letters you could ever put together are RKO. This was simple, it was effective, and you're watching this and you're thinking the same thing that I'm thinking and the same thing that I actually tweeted during the show. Randy Orton should never be babyface ever again. Simple as that. As long as the guy is breathing and as long as this guy is in a squared circle, this guy should never play a babyface role ever again. Some guys are just better at being evil. Randy Orton, I know for a fact when he was doing his thing back in the mid-2000s, this guy was fucking brilliant at what he did. Now, fast forward to 2018, Randy Orton's a great promo. Randy Orton is one of the most smoothest in-ring performers that you will find in this entire company. He may not be the best, but he's certainly fucking great at what he does. Randy Orton is brilliant at what he does. Randy Orton is brilliant as a heel. Whether you like him or not, I think we're all in the same boat, and Randy Orton is a damn good fucking bad guy. Simple as that. Now, the other thing I'm thinking about here is we didn't see Jeff. Nakamura had a 20-second promo, which was funny as fuck. But the other thing that I'm thinking about here is Roman Reigns. Now, Roman Reigns is challenging Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. Please, I urge you all to go to Walmart or Target or wherever fine goods are sold and go buy yourself a comfortable pillow. Please, do so. Because we're getting this match for a third time this year. And New York City is certainly not going to stand for it. But yes, I was thinking about Roman Reigns. And I'm thinking about Roman Reigns while Randy Orton is cutting this promo. And the only thing I'm thinking about is, why hasn't WWE come to the conclusion of Roman Reigns being a failure? Why haven't they warmed up to the fact that Roman Reigns, after 4 years, has been disrespected by everybody? Nobody wants him. He's unwanted. He's just boring. No charisma. Like I said yesterday, he's got the personality of a doorknob. But after 4 years, why hasn't Roman Reigns cut this very same promo that Randy Orton cut tonight? I've stated this multiple times. Do you know how well that would come off if Roman Reigns came out and aired his grievances to the WWE Universe after the last 4 years of being just dejected and turned away and shit on? I'm busting my ass. I'm one of the more regular guys that you see day in and day out, week after week. I'm a leader in that locker room. I bust my ass to entertain you guys for 4 years, and this is how you treat me. Everything I did for you, and this is the respect that I get. It would be very simple to cut a Roman Reigns promo and pen a promo for Roman Reigns in that very same essence, like Randy Orton did tonight. And Roman Reigns may very well cut a better promo with that whole feel to it better than Randy Orton. Because Roman Reigns is living it. Randy Orton's been back and forth, heel babyface, heel babyface, heel babyface. With Roman Reigns, the guy has been fucking shit on for the last 4 years. Can you imagine the fucking venom? Can you imagine the anger that would come out of Roman Reigns if he cut a promo like Randy Orton did tonight? That's what's got to be done. I've booked several scenarios on Off the Script about how you could go about this. I've booked several storylines in which you could bring that type of Roman Reigns to television. But WWE has turned their face in every instance with this guy and just continues to push him down everybody's throats for a match that seemingly nobody wants come August 19th. Nobody wants it. Even the most top-tier people that podcast, even more people than I can remember now following Monday Night Raw, don't want this match. If you need visuals, go to WWE's YouTube channel. Go to their YouTube channel and look at the Roman Reigns clips from Monday Night Raw. More dislikes than likes on those videos on WWE and their YouTube channel. I'm surprised WWE didn't shut off the comments. I'm surprised WWE didn't shut off the like to dislike counter or disabled likes and dislikes just so that you won't see it. They very well might have done that. I haven't checked since this morning, but I know there was 30,000 dislikes compared to about 26,000 likes this morning on those clips with Bobby Lashley in his match last night from Raw. So, what is the general consensus for SummerSlam? If WWE's own YouTube channel is revolting against their main event for SummerSlam. Now, I don't want to turn this into a Roman Lesnar rant on SmackDown Live, but I'm telling you, what we've seen tonight from Randy Orton should have already happened with Roman Reigns. I don't get the ignorance on WWE. Something is not working. And if it's not working, there needs to be a fix. You fixed Randy Orton. You had Randy Orton cut the same promo Roman Reigns should have cut fucking 3 years ago. Especially now. That's what Roman Reigns needs to do. I'm sorry. Now, the rumor is with Randy Orton, moving away from Roman Reigns, the rumor with Randy Orton is that he will battle Jeff Hardy and Shinsuke Nakamura in a triple threat match for the United States Championship. Randy Orton addressed Jeff Hardy. Nakamura addressed Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy clearly is not missing SummerSlam. There are rumors that Jeff Hardy is hurt, but we really don't know that for a fact. All we know is what Meltzer is stating. Yeah, Jeff Hardy is hurt. Jeff Hardy very well could be hurt. Jeff Hardy might not want to miss SummerSlam's payday. Jeff Hardy may go into New York City, do what he has to do, fulfill his obligations and his dates, and then after SummerSlam, they'll write him off television, and he'll go and recuperate and heal up. I don't know what's going on. But whether he's hurt or not, he's going to be at SummerSlam in a triple threat match with Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura. Could be a very interesting situation. Time will tell. All but confirmed at this point for the United States Championship. But Randy Orton, again, should never be babyface ever. Ever again. As long as he is on SmackDown Live and competing in the WWE, the guy needs to be a heel. Sometimes it's just very apparent who works in which role. Randy Orton never worked as a babyface. Randy Orton was always much better presented as a heel. And tonight was the exclamation point on that. Rusev versus Andrade Cien Almas. Did you guys see Zelina Vega tonight with her back and forth with Lana backstage and how this match came to be? That New York accent came out. Who do you think you are? You know, Andrade deserves a better shot at SummerSlam. You know, that New York accent came out of her, man. I did nothing but smile when I heard her go in on Lana with that accent and that New York vibe. So that was actually very nice to hear. But Rusev and Almas. At the sheer announcement of this match, the first thing that came into my mind was, holy shit, WWE's going to back themselves into a fucking corner here. Rusev can't lose. Almas certainly can't lose. Rusev needs a win coming out of Extreme Rules, losing to AJ Styles. Almas, by the same account, lost to Styles as well, but he tapped out. And he's relatively new on SmackDown Live. He can't afford another loss on top of a loss last week. So is WWE going to book themselves into a creative corner by giving us this match on SmackDown Live? This could very well be a great opening match for SummerSlam if WWE wanted to go down that route. Now, I've been pitching Almas in scenarios for SummerSlam. I've been trying to use my fantasy booking expertise on how to get Almas on SummerSlam. I'd much rather have him on SummerSlam than not have him on SummerSlam. I'd much rather have him on SummerSlam than have him on the fucking pre-show. He's too good for that. He's too good for that. Now, the one scenario I actually booked was on Twitter. And I want to pitch this to you guys. Probably never going to happen, but you know, I booked it anyway, and I pitched it anyway for you guys, fantasy-wise. Almas, coming out of the loss from AJ Styles last week, Vega could show up on SmackDown Live and say, listen, you know, Almas, just like she did tonight, should be competing for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam. Whoever you have in mind, Paige, Almas should be your number one priority. He's the most gifted and most talented man that you have on this roster to go against AJ Styles. We brought him to the brink. We brought him to the limit. And I think with another opportunity, Almas could get the job done. So Paige would go on and on and on about how Almas did show up in his match with AJ Styles. He did put on a very good fight, but ultimately he lost. And now he lost. He's got to take a few steps back and work his way back up to that point. I'm not going to book Almas in a WWE Championship match at SummerSlam. Vega would get upset. She would feel slighted and disrespected. She could show up on Monday Night Raw and lobby to Kurt Angle. And this is why I wish WWE would play up the fact a little bit of having these little moments where you have maybe a surprise on Monday Night Raw come over from SmackDown Live. Now, all the women were on Monday Night Raw last night for that fucking nauseating announcement from Stephanie McMahon, which they showed about 16 fucking times tonight. You know, I get the point. We have a first ever women's pay-per-view in WWE. Okay, I get it. I understand. I understand how historic it is. I understand how important it is that you push this bullshit and this political agenda to the fucking people. Okay? You don't gotta tell me 16 fucking times. Anyway, the women were on Monday Night Raw. Vega could have easily been on Monday Night Raw. She could have pulled Kurt Angle to the side. Listen, Kurt. Paige disrespects my client. Paige is not giving us what we deserve. So I want to bring to your attention that my client, Almas, does not have a match at SummerSlam, and we're looking for talent. We're looking for someone who could go one-on-one with him at SummerSlam. We want to prove to Paige that he is deserving of everything we say, and that is the WWE Championship. So Vega would scout around, and Vega would then have her eye on one individual. A week would go by, and then come back to Monday Night Raw just 1 week later. Finn Balor would be in a match with, I don't know, whoever it was, Drew McIntyre. It could be with Dolph Ziggler, whatever. Finn Balor would be in a match on Monday Night Raw, and then out of nowhere, causing a disqualification would be Almas. Just jumps the barricade, chaos ensues. He beats the shit out of Finn Balor, crowd's going crazy, causes a disqualification, gives Balor the running knees in the corner, and then a hammerlock DDT, and then starts cursing at him in Mexican. It would be great. Boom. Raw versus SmackDown match for SummerSlam. You want to prove yourself to Paige? There you go. Finn Balor's got nothing to do. He's got nothing of importance to do anyway. Put him in a match with Andrade Cien Almas at SummerSlam. Boom. It would give me a great match between two fucking guys that I'm sure would work brilliantly together. And B, we could see the Demon come back for SummerSlam. Last time we seen the Demon at SummerSlam was when he won the Universal Championship against Seth Rollins. I think it would work. Now, that's just me fantasy booking, but what the fuck do I know? I'm some goon on YouTube who doesn't know any better. I'm a smart mark who's, all about the indie workers, right? Yeah, sure. So let me know what you guys think about that. But, moving away from that, Rusev and Almas could also work as well. I didn't think about Rusev and Almas, two different body types, two different styles. After tonight, I think it could work. Now, you guys know how I am a fan of Almas's work. It's no secret. Rusev has always been high up on my list of guys, and I think he deserves more than what he is currently being given right now. WWE, pretty much at the announcement of this match, I thought was going to book themselves into a corner for the reasons that I gave you. Rusev needed a win coming off Extreme Rules with Styles. Almas could not lose again after tapping out to Styles. I think after tonight, I think WWE did an admirable job at possibly setting up something for SummerSlam with both Rusev and Almas, because what we seen was Vega slap the shit out of Lana tonight, and that caused a little distraction on the outside. There was a cat fight on the outside. Aiden English comes down, and we got Vega jumping on English, and by that account, the force of Vega jumping on English, she landed, and he landed on Lana. And then Rusev was like, what the fuck's going on? This is my match. And then from behind, Almas attacks Rusev and delivers a very poor-looking hammerlock DDT, but a hammerlock DDT nonetheless. And he gets the victory over Rusev. So Almas gets his win. Rusev had a very good match with Almas, and he lost via a distraction from somebody who right now is on the outs with Aiden English. So it's an admirable job at WWE giving Almas a win, keeping Rusev strong, and then also, by the same account, possibly booking them in a match at SummerSlam. Not one-on-one, but we could get Almas and Vega versus Rusev and Lana. It would be okay if Rusev gets his victory back with Lana at SummerSlam in a tag team match, as long as Almas is not pinned. That's what I'm going with. I would have Lana pin Vega. That's just the way I see it. So let me know what you guys think about that possible mixed tag team match to open SummerSlam. Almas and Vega versus Rusev and Lana. I think that's a good idea. At least it gets both guys in a nice match, and it gets them on the main card for SummerSlam. Let me know what you guys think about that. I think WWE did a very good job at possibly setting that up on tonight's SmackDown Live. Just an idea. Another idea I'm going to float at you guys. Asuka. Asuka clearly has moved on from the trash that is Trashmella. Now, if WWE is smart, they would start the reconstruction of Asuka almost immediately. And I hope it has begun with tonight's pretty much squash match over Billie Kay. Now, Becky, hopefully, will take the title off of Carmella. Ellsworth was fired tonight, which we'll talk about in a second. Ellsworth is no more. She has no more Ellsworth, and it all makes that Asuka situation that much more pathetic. It makes it look that much more of a circus. You know, he's there, they treat her like fucking bullshit, and then he's fired for just running down Paige and the whiteness of her skin and how she looks and how she dresses. He was fired over that. But he wasn't fired for causing garbage for the last month with Asuka. Go figure. Anyway, Becky beats Trashmella at SummerSlam for the Women's Championship. And WWE builds Asuka the very same way that they're building Becky. Asuka needs to go on a dominant win streak again. And in the same manner in which she did against Billie Kay tonight. Now, if WWE does that, and they give Becky the title, Asuka's being booked strong once again, we could very well see Asuka versus Becky at Evolution on October 28th. And the reason why I say that is A, there's plenty of time for that to become a reality. B, the way I see it, when Charlotte eventually comes back, instead of throwing her into the Women's Championship title picture, which is very predictable, I honestly think WWE, just with who Charlotte is and the name value of Charlotte and how they fucking jerk off to the fact that she's a Flair, and all the rumors going around that it's going to be Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey at SummerSlam because that's the biggest match that you could possibly do right now in WWE's eyes for the women at WrestleMania. I think Charlotte will probably get a higher profile match with a legend at Evolution, probably against a Trish or a Lita or someone like that at Evolution. I think they're going to do that to just add to her legacy before she goes and battles Ronda Rousey one-on-one at WrestleMania. I think Becky and Asuka would probably be the better choice for the Women's Championship instead of giving me Becky and Charlotte, which we've already seen. Now, it certainly does make sense to do Becky and Charlotte, but I'm sticking to my guns here. I think if WWE plays their cards right, I think Becky holding the title for a little bit, you know, giving her a bone after all the hard work she's done is certainly deserved. And then Asuka could finally get the championship. Because right now, a lot of people are claiming that WWE ruined Asuka. How did WWE fuck up Asuka coming up from NXT? And why hasn't she been a women's champion yet? After such a dominating run in NXT. So if WWE wants to go that route, I'm fine with it. But I've been having fun with the Evolution match card on social media. And a lot of you guys love the ideas that I came up with. Now, if WWE is smart, they would book it as a super card of sorts. They already laid out that the Raw Women's Championship is going to be defended. The SmackDown Live Women's Championship is going to be defended, and the NXT Women's Championship is going to be defended. Now, I'm pretty sure that whatever storyline is going to be happening at that moment is going to take precedent, and we're going to get, Raw with their Women's Championship story concluding there, and SmackDown concluding there, and then NXT, probably a rematch with Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler there, the Mae Young Classic final there. I would book it in a way in which it comes off as a super card of sorts. They have all these women. They have all these talented women. Why not give me matches that, we may never see, period, in WWE? Like, the first thing that comes to mind is, I'm going to book Asuka or Kairi Sane in the same match. Or Kairi Sane and Shirai in the same match. Something along those lines. But if WWE is going to stick to storylines, Asuka vs. Becky would be a great SmackDown Live Women's Championship match. If Ronda is going to beat Alexa, which at this point is a foregone conclusion. I don't see Alexa doing anything there with Ronda Rousey, and it should be an automatic squash. You're not going to make me believe Bliss is going to have any offense against someone like Ronda Rousey. Give me a fucking break. If they're going to stick to storylines and keep them brand separate, Asuka Becky, I'm fine with. You could do Ronda and Natty, something that could get Ronda some great learning. It could tie up some shit. You could turn Natty heel and complete that storyline that, should have been done, but wasn't, and WWE opted to go with Bliss over Natty, which is understandable at SummerSlam. They could do that pairing, and then we could get Baszler versus Kairi Sane in a rematch from TakeOver Brooklyn. So we'll see what happens, man. But Asuka Becky, there's plenty of time for that to happen, and I think Charlotte, just being that she's a Flair, and how WWE holds her in high regard, will probably get a bigger spotlighted match at Evolution. So let me know what you guys think about that. All I know is that Carmella and Bliss should not be women's champions going into Evolution. That's all I'm going to say about that. We got AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe announced. All the rumors have become a reality. AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe announced for SummerSlam. SummerSlam finally has a match confirmed, officially announced, that I actually give a shit about. Now, I am excited for this, but I'm not going to get as excited as I was for Styles and Nakamura, and rightfully so. We all got excited. We've been asking for it for about a year. We get it. And then when it happened, it was nothing but a sheer fucking disappointment at WrestleMania. I am not falling into that trap again. I am not falling into the hype. I'm not falling into what could be with two guys that I love watching work. Okay? After what WWE did with Styles and Nakamura, I am not falling for the excitement that could be. Because I know WWE will ruin it at any chance that they get. But do you want to know the truth about your WWE Championship match? And I love the fact that AJ Styles threw this in his promo tonight. The WWE Championship is not only the most prestigious title in the company, thumbs up for you, AJ, but he mentioned that it's the most prestigious title in the world. And I'm glad somebody is saying it. Whether you believe it or not, whether you think the IWGP Heavyweight Championship is more prestigious, that's a subjective topic. But I like the fact that AJ stood his ground and said, listen, all this talk about Lesnar and Reigns and, him not main eventing, I want you guys to know that the title that I hold is the most prestigious, not only in the company, but in the world. Good on you. Good on you. Attention to detail. That's the first thing I picked out in his entire promo. Do you want to know the truth about the WWE Championship match on August 19th? It is the most legit match on the card so far that's been announced. It will be the most legit match on the card, period. More so than Lesnar and that fucking corporate clown known as the Big Dog for a third time this year that nobody fucking gives a shit about. A match in Joe and Styles that internally WWE main roster officials probably look at and laugh at. Oh, look at this. AJ Styles, an indie darling before he came to the WWE. Well, now your indie darling is heralded as one of the most popular guys in the entire company. That indie darling that is your WWE champion. That indie darling is probably one of the best wrestlers on the face of the earth. The other guy that he's going up against, Samoa Joe, another indie darling. A guy who was not contacted by WWE and not given a job by WWE because of the way he looked. There were rumors running rampant about how WWE didn't sign Joe because he was too fat. Now look. That indie darling discussion. Not even a discussion period. Samoa Joe being fat and out of shape. And his body not looking the style of Vince McMahon and what he likes. I'm not hearing anything like that now. All I'm seeing is excitement for what could be with these two guys. But I urge you guys to tone it down. because you know what they did with Nakamura and Styles. I'm excited for it, but I'm not allowing myself to get overly excited for what is going to happen at SummerSlam. Could be match of the year contender. Could very well be. But I'm not going to fall into that trap again. You know? I don't hear any of the negatives. The indie shit, the fact that these guys were on the indie circuit, with all this bullshit from the smart marks on social media. I don't hear any of that. All I hear nowadays is how great AJ is and how everybody loves AJ and how brilliant Samoa Joe's body of work is. These guys could steal the show if given time. This is the most legit match at SummerSlam. SummerSlam actually has a match that I fucking give a shit about. SummerSlam actually has a championship match. A championship match. Worthy of being a championship match. SummerSlam has a main event match that should be the main event over this fucking circus known as Roman Reigns. I'm excited for it. Just tone it down. And it's funny to see where these guys were before the WWE, and now they are headlining, quote unquote, WWE's second biggest pay-per-view of the year. Good on them. Good on them. I was kind of confused when AJ Styles and James Ellsworth were going back and forth, and Ellsworth came out to interrupt this thing. But at the end of it, it was harmless. It was a nice segue into him getting fired. At first I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Why is this on my TV? Why is he out here? Why is he interrupting this big announcement? Why is he taking away from the WWE Championship? But when it was all said and done and he was fired, I didn't really mind it. So it played into the fact that they wanted to get him off television. Paige fired him, threw him out of the arena. It was all harmless by the end of this thing, which led to a brilliant sneak attack on Samoa Joe's behalf. And he choked out AJ Styles, signed the contract, threw the table on top of AJ Styles, and then Paige in the back. Says, Joe, what are you doing? I was going to announce you as the number one contender for AJ Styles in the WWE Championship because you're unpredictable. What the fuck was that out there? And then Samoa Joe says, what you had planned for me was pedestrian. You wanted unpredictable? I gave you unpredictable. And what I did out there was simply phenomenal. Joe is brilliant. It is very difficult to argue with anybody about AJ Styles and how great he is. On the same, discussion. It's very difficult to not want to give Samoa Joe a WWE Championship reign. AJ could very well hold the championship for the rest of the year. He may very well do that with the announcement that he's on WWE 2K19's cover. WWE probably wants him as the champion by the time the game comes out. WWE may have him hold the championship going to WrestleMania next year. WWE may use AJ Styles as a catalyst to break CM Punk's 434-day reign. It's not out of the realm of possibility with these fucking people. Anything that Punk has, they want to erase. But they'd be the first ones to line up and give this guy a boatload of money to come back. Hypocritical fucks they are. But it's very difficult to not want to give Samoa Joe a run with the WWE Championship. The guy is, as a heel, could be invaluable in that role as WWE Champion. So we'll see what happens. But there's not really many babyfaces to work with Samoa Joe if he's a heel. Bryan and Styles right now, and Hardy, who's probably going to be out due to injury, are the only ones. It's better if WWE keeps the title on Styles because he's going to have more heels to work with. There's more heels on SmackDown Live than there are babyfaces. So we'll see what happens. AJ's great, but with the body of work that Joe continues to showcase every time he's put in a big situation, it's very difficult to argue that he should not be the WWE champion. So we'll see what happens at SummerSlam. WWE started their tag team tournament tonight in the most lackluster way possible. WWE has 4 teams vying for the tag team championships. 4 teams I really, don't really give a shit about at this moment. And for very particular reasons. The Usos, I love the Usos, don't get me wrong. I think the Usos are fantastic, but they've seen their time. The New Day have seen their day. Sanity has been booked like shit. And the bar's been off TV for 2 months. If there's one team I want to see win this 4-team bullshit tournament, and at this point I'm not even calling it a tournament, I want the bar to win, because the New Day versus the Bludgeon Brothers, boring. Usos versus the Bludgeon Brothers, boring. The bar versus the Bludgeon Brothers seems to be the only match out of those 4 teams that speaks to me as different. You're certainly not going to do Sanity versus the Bludgeon Brothers. Sanity is fucking garbage right now. Don't know why WWE continues to treat them like shit. They come in with all this hype. They're going to cause chaos on SmackDown Live. And the only thing they've caused for themselves are big fat L's. Losses. Nobody takes Sanity seriously. And if WWE continues to treat themselves that way, if WWE continues to treat them that way, rather, nobody's going to take them seriously ever. The bar represents the only thing different that I would like to see against the Bludgeon Brothers. Sanity ain't going anywhere because they were never going to do a heel versus a heel dynamic. That would be fucking boredom. And then the New Day and Usos, they've seen their time, and we've seen both teams mix it up with the Bludgeon Brothers. Even at WrestleMania in a triple threat match. We don't care. The bar, I hope, beat the Usos next week. And then I hope the bar go on to beat the New Day and get the tag team title match. At least it's something different. It may be pre-show, but at least it's something different. Now, WWE with this fucking tournament, if you even want to call it that, it could be a round-robin bullshit, whatever WWE, they want to make it feel bigger than it is, but it really is nothing. They could have given themselves a perfect opportunity to have fun and give others an opportunity on the road to SummerSlam that normally would not have gotten an opportunity. Ty Dillinger and R-Truth have been mixed together for the last couple of weeks. They would have been a great pairing in this tournament that could have been a fun underdog team. They could have given us a lot of fun on SmackDown Live. Could have been a lot of intrigue with them, trying to advance in this tournament, trying to find themselves as number 1 contenders for the tag team titles. There are no teams right now on SmackDown Live that I find interesting. It would not hurt you to pair a team together like Ty Dillinger and R-Truth and push them on SmackDown Live against some of the bigger names. I don't understand why WWE would not explore that option. I would love to see Ty Dillinger and R-Truth go up against the bar. I think that would be very fun and very intriguing to see them be a babyface come from behind Cinderella team that makes it to the end and then either wins the tag team titles or comes at least very close to doing so. WWE could benefit from shit like this, with situations like this. They could benefit and put guys in roles that haven't really been given a chance, and in the end, in the conclusion of something like this, you could have them be bigger for it. This is why I'm a big advocate for tournaments. This is why I'm a big advocate for WWE being a little bit more open-minded. Instead of giving the fucking opportunities to the same people every single week, you had an ample opportunity to pair teams together and have fun with it and make it intriguing and unpredictable. And WWE didn't do that. We get some bullshit tonight that ended in 5 minutes, and it was okay. On to next week. It's WWE's version of a tournament that they're rushing through just to get the fucking tag team titles, on SummerSlam and get the match announced. It sucks. It reeks of laziness. It reeks of uncreativity. And it reeks of just sloppiness. They don't care. And I'm sitting here wondering why they aren't doing more with guys like Ty Dillinger and R-Truth. R-Truth looked good. In the 1 to 2 minutes that he was in the ring tonight, R-Truth looked good in his match with Samoa Joe. He looked like he wanted to be there. It looked like that he had a new lease on life. He wrestled like, holy shit, I'm on fucking TV. You pair that with Ty Dillinger, and you give those guys a run as a Cinderella team, an oddball pairing, I think it would go over well. I just don't know why WWE didn't take the opportunity to, really make this tournament fun. And not only fun, but if they actually built this tournament with some fucking care, that could have also made the tag team titles seem a little bit more important instead of them being just two titles that they want to get on SummerSlam's card for the sake of being on SummerSlam. Because that's all I'm feeling right now. We're running through this shit quick, just to get the tag team titles announced on SummerSlam. There's no value to the titles. And WWE is making that very apparent. The Miz. We'll talk about this before we get to the results. The Miz. The Miz and Daniel Bryan tonight. WWE did their best to promote Miz and Mrs., which I'll probably end up watching because I'm a fan of The Miz. I don't like this reality TV bullshit, but it's always fun seeing them out of their element. So, if it's going to be presented in a way where we can kind of get a behind-the-scenes look at what they do in their real life, for someone like The Miz, I find them to be an intriguing enough character for me to sit down for an hour and watch reality television. I know I've been stating that I feel The Miz and Daniel Bryan being fast-tracked for SummerSlam may be, unfavorable. It's not really what I would do. I understand why WWE is doing it. It's either A, they're rushing to get it done because Daniel Bryan has not signed, or B, they're rushing to do it because Daniel Bryan requested it, and he has indeed signed an extension with the WWE. And this is only going to be just another layer on top of the overall grand story that they're trying to tell. Whatever they did tonight, it had promotion around Miz and Mrs. That was the first and foremost top priority for them. They wanted to get everybody knowing that, listen, we got a new show, boom. And they tried to integrate Daniel Bryan into that, and they did it beautifully. It was creatively well thought. I don't believe I'm saying that with a WWE program nonetheless. It was creatively well thought, and they used the reality TV background aspect of The Miz, and they used his daughter as a great catalyst to integrate Daniel Bryan into all of this, which in the end, it was very well executed. The Miz played it off like a fucking professional, comes out there with the strap and the baby's facing him chest first, and we all thought it was really his daughter there in the ring, and they were just going over about, how the reality TV show is going to be great, this and that, and what they actually said, I got the notes here. Let me look at my notes. Miz is there to plug their show. Miz gets fans to give it up for his daughter, who is making her first TV appearance. And the fans do a Monroe Sky chant. She's more over than a lot of the wrestlers on the roster tonight. Miz says, just the mention of Daniel Bryan has put Monroe Sky to sleep. So he needs everyone to use their quiet voices. Miz then gives us a preview of the Miz and Mrs. reality show. Now, if you guys remember, during the eulogy of Team Hell No, the Miz actually showcased all of Team Hell No's worst times, when, in fact, it was supposed to be their best times. So Daniel Bryan got back at the Miz by showcasing some of the Miz's most embarrassing moments from the show, and he got back at the Miz just like he did to him a week ago with Team Hell No. So Daniel Bryan said, listen, I want to come and congratulate you guys on your red carpet. Instead of doing it back here, I'm going to come out there and join the party. So Daniel Bryan has two security guards stop him from this big red carpet premiere for Miz and Mrs. He beats the shit out of the two security guards. And Bryan enters the ring. MARYSE tells him to get out. And then Miz tosses the baby that he had strapped to his chest at Bryan. And it was revealed that it was not Monroe Sky at all. And it was a baby doll. And at the end of this thing, the Miz fools Bryan and gives him a skull-crushing finale. He fooled everybody. It was a doll. Monroe Sky was not the real baby that you seen in the back. He was telling everybody that the baby that you seen with me during the entirety of the show was an actor. It was an actor. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. But whatever the case is, this was fucking great. It doesn't necessarily add another layer on top of the storyline. It just continues the story of The Miz outsmarting Daniel Bryan. And I love that. And I mentioned weeks ago how I love how WWE's portrayed The Miz in 2018. He's kind of gone away, yet still has some aspects of it. He's gone away from the chicken shit heel who's going to cheat to win. I think he's above that now. And with what he did tonight, he proves that they should continue booking him that way. And he's going to win because he is smarter than everybody else that he's in the ring with. And he proved that tonight with Daniel Bryan. He fell right into the Miz's trap. Hook, line, and sinker. And as a wrestling fan, how you're watching that and you can't appreciate something so simple, like they did tonight, maybe you really shouldn't be watching the product. I loved it. I thought that was great. The simplest things are the ones that are the most effective, and what they did tonight was the most effective. It didn't really add another layer to the storyline like I have been pitching with Miz and Money in the Bank, but it continued the storyline of The Miz being smart and outsmarting Daniel Bryan, where Daniel Bryan, all he wants to do is get back at The Miz for embarrassing him, and The Miz is continuing to be one step ahead of Daniel Bryan by being smarter. I love it. It's great. This baby thing tonight was simple and beautifully executed. Can't really say much more than that. Other than that, man, it was a very good edition of SmackDown Live. Let me run over the results. Rusev and Andrade Cien Almas. Andrade Cien Almas wins with a hammerlock DDT after Vega jumped on Aiden English back. Now, the reason why that happened was because Vega slapped the shit out of Lana, and Aiden English comes down to scream at Vega. Vega then jumps on English. They fall on Lana. Rusev becomes distracted. Almas takes advantage and gives him the hammerlock DDT. So, with what I stated in the beginning, I could definitely see a mixed tag team match happening between Almas and Vega versus Rusev and Lana at SummerSlam. We'll see what happens with that. We got R-Truth versus Samoa Joe. This was a squash. R-Truth looked good in the mere minutes that he was in this match, but it was a Uranagi and a Kokina clutch for an easy tap-out win for Samoa Joe. Asuka versus Billie Kay. Asuka was backstage with Dasha Fuentes, Android 2.5, and Dasha approaches her for comments on WWE Evolution. Asuka looked like a fucking clown. She continues to say nobody is ready for Asuka, but at this juncture, when she says that nobody's ready for Asuka, I don't really want to hear it, especially after the way WWE's booked her. But anyway, Asuka versus Billie Kay. This was a squash. Most of it was a squash. Billie Kay got some offense in, but Asuka wins here. Big running knee to the face or Shining Wizard. Boom, done. Asuka wins. We had Becky Lynch versus Carmella. And it's just painful to watch Carmella in the ring, man. She when she's in the ring, she doesn't bump well. It's as if she's afraid to take a bump. She doesn't look like she knows what she's doing. And with somebody as good as Becky Lynch, you need to know what you're doing. I don't know what people are expecting here. Carmella failed with Charlotte. Carmella failed with Asuka. And she's going to fail with Becky Lynch. This needs to be the end of this experiment. Carmella needs to have this title taken from her, and it needs to go on a real women superstar, or woman superstar. We need to have a real women's champion. And Becky Lynch is that. Right now, that is your best choice. So, Carmella loses here, taps out to the disarm her. Becky blocks a shot. I don't know if it was a kick or a punch. I really wasn't paying attention to this shit because that's what Carmella does to me. And drops Carmella with a kick to the side of the head. They're both on the mat. Becky gets up first, goes up top. She goes for a huge leg drop off the top rope. Carmella moves out of the way. Carmella drops Becky with a super kick to the face, 2 count. Becky blocks incoming offense from Carmella and pulls Carmella into the disarm her for the win. And she gets the SummerSlam title shot. So 1 down, 1 to go. We'll see what happens. Tag team title tournament match. New Day versus Sanity. This one was over. If you blinked, this one was over. I don't like the way that they're treating Sanity. I think Sanity right now is in the dumps. I don't know. Another NXT team, another NXT, entity seemingly going down the toilet on the main roster. I don't know. All that talk about Triple H building Sanity up and an idea that he had for Sanity for the last 10 years, and he finally brought it to life with these guys. Eric Young, Alexander Wolf, and Killian Dane being killed on the main roster. The fuck did the New Day need this win for? Sanity could have benefited with a win over the New Day. I would have loved to seen something different. Sanity and the Bar would have been a great match. But no, WWE wants to give us the New Day. Probably give us the New Day and the Usos next week, because WWE doesn't know any better. Or WWE doesn't give a fuck about tag team wrestling. Come on, man. New Day win here. Up, down, down, or the Midnight Hour, whatever the fuck they're calling it. Midnight Hour on Alexander Wolf for the pin. Bullshit. And that was pretty much SmackDown Live, man. Very good show. They're doing their thing. Going into SummerSlam. Much better than Monday Night Raw. That's all we can ask. At least we're getting good television. Man. Tomorrow is the main event of the week. I don't give a fuck who you are. Tomaso Champa versus Alistair Black. I can't fucking wait. I've been looking forward to this shit for the last fucking month. So we're going to see what happens, man. We all know what the spoiler is, but I'm interested to see how we get what we get tomorrow night. I can't wait. I'm going to review it. As you guys know, we'll talk all about it on the NXT review. Thank you guys so much. I'll be at House of Glory's Academy tomorrow. I'll be interviewing Sonya Strong. Episode 2 of Cutting Corners is coming this week, man. So look forward to that. If you guys missed anything on the channel, Monday Night Raw, we have Off the Script from this past weekend, and I even did a Slammiversary 2018 review. So make sure you guys go and check that out. Everything you need, plus the debut episode of Cutting Corners, is in the annotation. Go check it out. Follow me on Twitter, at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. We are dangerously close to 95,000 subscribers, which would make us only 5,000 away from that silver play button. If you guys want to support the podcast, patreon.com/JDFROMNY206. I have an hour extra of audio for you guys. The 1993 King of the Ring review on Off the Script Retro. Go and check that stuff out, and I'll see you guys for Champa Black NXT title tomorrow night. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you tomorrow for NXT.